The wind shifted. It carried ash across the shattered rooftops and dragged smoke low through the streets, like a living thing searching for somewhere to settle. Elias stopped walking when he smelled it. Burned paper, not fuel, not insulation, paper. He lifted his hand, signaling the squad to hold. The others froze between broken vehicles and splintered concrete barriers. Somewhere in the distance, artillery rolled again, a slow, deliberate rhythm that had become the city's heartbeat. Mara moved up beside him. "You smelled that?" He nodded. They stepped off the street and into the shell of what used to be a pharmacy. The front wall had collapsed inward. Shelves were melted into the tile floor. Glass had fused 2 counters in warped, glistening sheets. The smell was stronger inside. Elias scanned the room, rifle steady, boots crunching over powdered plaster. Then he saw it. Something fluttering faintly in the draft, slipping through the ruined ceiling. Not fabric, canvas, pinned between 2 collapsed beams. Blackened at the edges, but not destroyed. He approached slowly. The rest of the painting had burned away, but the center remained intact, as if protected deliberately. Soot framed it like a dark border. It wasn't abstract, it was precise. 3 narrow towers rising from smoke, a broken dome in the center above them. Shapes that at first looked like birds, but they weren't birds, they were arrows. One pointing north, one pointing west, one pointing straight up. Mara stepped beside him. "That's this city." Yes, the skyline had been painted before the war. Clean lines, intact structures, no fire. The arrows cut through the painted smoke with intention. Elias crouched, brushing ash gently away from the lower portion. Red strokes appeared beneath the soot. Letters, not complete words. Fragments, fragments. IVE.low.NDER. He scraped more carefully. Not. Above an Belalodabu, Ormara swallowed. Under what? Artillery thundered again. Dust sifted from the ceiling beams. Elias looked up, instinctively, above. Then he looked at the collapsed street. Outside below, his eyes returned to the arrows. North, west, west, up, north. And West Cross in the cathedral district, he said. Quietly, that place is gone. On the surface, she stared at him. "You think this is a map?" "I think someone wanted it found." They left the pharmacy and moved through alleyways choked with debris. Smoke hung heavy between buildings, shifting with every distant impact. Windows gaped like empty eye sockets. The cathedral district rose ahead as a silhouette of ruin against grey sky. Its great dome had collapsed months ago. Stone pillars lay scattered like snapped ribs. Statues were decapitated. The plaza was a cratered graveyard of marble. Fragments, they moved cautiously through the wreckage. Elias replayed the painting in his mind. North, west, up. He walked toward where the nave once stood. Rubble crunched under his boots. Then he felt it, a metallic ring beneath his sole. He knelt, cleared dust with his glove. A circular metal plate embedded into the stone floor. Mara crouched beside him. "You've got to be kidding me." He knocked on it. Hollow. They both looked at each other. Thin cable ran from the edge of the plate into a crack in the fallen wall. Power, not a trigger, not an explosive, something. "Sustained," Mara whispered. "If it's powered, someone maintains it." As if in answer, a low vibration trembled beneath their boots. The circular plate rotated with a grinding groan. A rush of cool air rose from below. A ladder descended into darkness. They stared down into it. "I'll go first," Elias said. Obviously, he slung his rifle forward and climbed 10 feet, 20.20.30. The city noise faded with each rung at the bottom. His boots touched smooth concrete. He activated his light dot. The beam cut across dust, particles, and struck color. Walls covered in paintings. Every wall, from floor to ceiling. Mara descended behind him and froze halfway down the ladder. Elias. He didn't respond. He couldn't. Faces stared back at him from every direction. Families seated at dinner tables. Children playing in fountains. Vendors selling fruit in open markets. Beddings. Graduations. Ordinary days immortalized in oil and pigment. The city before the war, preserved underground. They walked slowly, each painting labeled with names and dates. Entire neighborhoods recorded with obsessive care. This wasn't art for beauty. It was documentation, memory. On the far wall stood a massive mural of the skyline. The same skyline from the burned canvas. Above, but here it was whole, and above it, smoke, painted smoke, twisting upward from this angle. Standing at the center of the room, the smoke formed words. "We are still." Mara removed her helmet slowly. "Who did this?" Elias shook his head. "It must have taken months, years." He stepped closer to the mural. The brushwork in the smoke was deliberate, chaotic from the side, but aligned perfectly from the center, hidden in destruction. Crash echoed from above. Both of them snapped toward the ladder. Boots. Voices, not theirs. Elias killed the light. Darkness swallowed the room. Metal scraped as the circular door above opened. Light poured down the shaft. A silhouette appeared. An enemy soldier began descending. Mara raised her rifle in the dark. Elias whispered, "Wait." The soldier reached the bottom. He stepped off the ladder and swept his flashlight across the nearest wall. The beam illuminated a painting of a family bakery. A mother laughing behind a flour-dusted counter. The soldier froze. 2 more descended. All 3 stood silently, lights drifting across faces and scenes. One of them removed his helmet. He looked young. Too young. He stepped toward the bakery, painting, and touched it. "My mother had one like this," he murmured in his language. The others said nothing. Mara stepped from the shadows. Their lights snapped to her. Tension thickened the air. Rifles raised. Halfway, but none fully aimed. Because behind all of them, the walls were alive with color. Not targets, not maps, people. The youngest soldier lowered his rifle first. The others followed slowly. "Who made this?" Elias asked quietly. The young soldier shook his head. "We thought it was weapons." He looked around again. "This is worse, worse." Mara said, "Yes." He gestured at the paintings. "Because this survives." Artillery thundered overhead. Again, dust trickled from the ceiling. The bunker trembled, but the paintings held. The murals. Smoke words seemed to shift in the trembling light. "We are still." The young soldier stepped backward. "We didn't see anything," he said. His companions hesitated, then nodded. They climbed the ladder without another word. The circular door sealed shut. Darkness returned. Mara let out a slow breath. Elias switched the light back on. Color flooded the room again. "Do we tell Command?" she asked. He stared at the mural. If Command knew, they would fortify it, claim it, turn it into propaganda, or worse. "Not yet," he said. "We guard it, just us. For now." Hours passed. They walked the perimeter of memory. Mara stopped at a portrait of a little girl holding a kite. The kite's tail twisted into painted smoke, forming a single word. Hope. Elias felt something steady inside him. Not relief, not peace. Resolve. He imagined the artist working underground while bombs fell. Above, mixing pigments by dim light, painting the city back into existence stroke by stroke. Refusing erasure, Mara sat against the wall, helmet beside her. "If they find this again." "They already did," Elias said. "And they left." She nodded slowly. "Maybe that's the message." He looked up at the mural. Smoke from artillery drifted through cracks in the ceiling far above. Up there, it meant destruction. Down here, from the right angle, it meant survival. The hidden painting in the pharmacy hadn't been a warning. It had been a compass. North, west, up, under, not above the smoke, not below the city, under the destruction. Memory, identity, proof. The war continued. Explosions rolled across the skyline. Buildings fell, positions changed, but beneath the cathedral ruins, color endured, names endured, faces endured, and in the quiet between artillery impacts, Elias understood something he hadn't allowed himself to think before. Cities are not stone, they are not domes or towers. They are people, and as long as someone remembers them, as long as someone paints them, as long as someone hides their stories in the smoke, they are still here. Mara looked at him in the dim light. "What happens when the war ends?" He didn't answer immediately. He looked at the mural, at the skyline rising through painted smoke. "At the end," he said quietly, "this is what will remain." Above them, another explosion thundered. Dust drifted down, but the words held steady. "We are still here." And for the first time since the war began, Elias believed it.